What's going on, everybody? Hope you're fantastic. Wanted to do today's live stream title, Spread Some Love Today, aka spread some kindness or spread something positive, right? Like, you know, if you're spreading love, there's probably something you would do for people that that you might only reserve for family. And sometimes that might just be like, hey, how you doing, or whatever. So, anyways, all sorts of ideas there. Give somebody an extra big hug. Ideally, someone you don't know, but obviously, you know, it's easiest to do it for people that you do know. But is she still playing with that thing? Maybe she's been eyeing it for like a week. She's been wanting to catch it, but she just couldn't reach it. Huh? Yeah, she's like, now I gotcha. So our cat's got a new toy. She's got a new toy she's playing with. Honestly, I'm done with this painting. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to keep it this like rough, loose look. And we're going to go into another painting. Have this other painting here that I actually need a rescue. It needs a little bit of saving. A little bit of a rescue here. So let me pull it up. I don't know how I'm going to rescue this painting.
Is this the size of the one we gave Patty?
18 by 24? Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I want to get a frame.
Let's go like this. I'm going to put this off to the side here. And here's our painting from yesterday. We're going to do a painting from the movie Requiem for a Dream. And this painting is just, I don't even know what I'm going to do because it's still so wet, but it's a little bit dry. But I don't like where it's at. It's pretty horrible. It's got like too many different elements trying to work at the same time, and it's just like weird and unusual. And I'm okay with weird and unusual, but it doesn't have a feel that I'm going for. So, you know, what am I gonna do? I'm not sure. I feel like this is one of those paintings. I'm just gonna keep working at it and just see. Let's see what like a pure destructive, let's see what happens, spontaneous attitude, where that can lead us. Yeah, I think it's 18 by 24 or 16 by 20. I don't know actual size. But here we go. Let's grab grab this brush. This is a good brush here. We're gonna use our Blick brush. Oh wait, you know what I gotta do? I gotta add a description here. I have a new painting out that just released. Hold on one second. I'm gonna upload a description of it. Let's see. What's up, Mia? Howdy. Hope you're doing good. This is another painting that we're working on right now.
Goodness. They're leaping kitties. Here, look at it.
What's up, CK?
Oh.
Yes, this is, it looks like a cool painting. Yes, thank you. This is from Requiem for a Dream. This is a very unusual painting. It's a very weird painting. But let's grab this brush, and we're just going to see how we can start to add what we can do with this. Grab one small brush. It's got our white, got our blue. Let's add a little bit more blue here. Let's grab a big ultramarine blue. We're gonna do a big tube of ultramarine blue here. Bodyguard, what's up? Well, weird or not, you like it cool. Thank you so much, man. Bodyguard, what's up? Hope you all spread some love today. Spread some love. You don't have to spread it to me. You could spread it to other people elsewhere. But this is gonna be a weird painting, you know. So just for those of you that want to see like paintings of like flowers or like, you know, a really nice portrait, I would say, you know, if you want to watch like something else, I would highly recommend it. If you want to watch, you know, landscape, go look at Bob Ross. But this is a weird painting. This is gonna be a weird painting. So just be prepared for that. Yeah, that's all I can say. Anyway, let's get started. So I just want to go in with like a pure yellow, green, blue. Let's try to find a good dark green here. I find like a nice dark green, and I want to use this color as our initial. And this is like an experimental painting. You know, it's not one where I'm gonna have very specific about what I'm gonna be doing. Like I have the idea already, but there's still more that can be added and modified. So I'm gonna go with this green, and we're just gonna see how these colors, how I can build up some interesting colors here onto these surfaces. Because right now it's really flat, it's really dark and dingy. And I don't mind dark and dingy, but that's not what I'm going for. So, you know, if I'm not achieving the purpose that I'm going for, then that is not a successful painting. So we're just gonna build out this color, and it's gonna be like a down bottom layer as far as this color is concerned, this green. And let's just lay it in, lay it down. So what's everyone's plan for today? The plan of attack to spread some love. Who's gonna text their grandmother? Should text your grandparents. I should do that. If only I should do that later. Gotta text my grandma. There we go. That's a good reminder. I haven't texted her in a while. Here we go. It's funny doing a painting like this, but like talking about these wholesome things. There are no weird paintings, just weird people. Hey, that's brilliant. BK, what's up, BK? How you doing, dude? What is up in the world of BK? You know what? I'm gonna keep this flatter. And I did have this initial thought that I'm gonna make, you know, paint the scene, but rather than painting the scene, I want to make them the centerpiece, which they are, but like the centerpiece of the viewers, bring the viewer into what's happening rather than making the viewer view how other people are experiencing it. So this again is one of my paintings that are based on movie stills. So, you know, I had the idea that I was gonna like do the movie still, but more importantly right now, I think what I'm gonna do is just paint what was supposed to be viewed from the movie still and make it not about the scene as much as it is the viewer's experience of what's happening. And I'm trying to decide, should I let this dry and work on it again later, or should I just keep going at it? I don't know. Let's try to start developing this concept right here. We need these two concepts right here. Let's see, let's enlarge this. I'm gonna enlarge our references now. Enlarge this. And let's see, how do we go about this? Let's add some light white highlights onto our platform here. Start to blend that into our space. gonna cover the surface area. So Brian Keith, nothing much going on. To the doctor, you think you become more bold painter. Thank you. Wow. What a compliment, man. You sure know how to give them. Have you gotten a compliment lately? I hope you have. You are a great compliment giver. There's a compliment. It's a really good skill to know how to give a good compliment. You know, especially, yeah, it really is. It is a great skill. And it's one that has to be practiced too, you know, like you have to know, like you have to give enough compliments to where you're like, where you know what's kind of like a false compliment, like, oh, hey, that I really like your dress, or I really like your shoes, or whatever. Versus like a real compliment that, like, you know, you got to actually know the person to give it. These are very different compliments. But here we go. We're going in with some whites and yellows, and we're just gonna add some color to this area. I want this to be brighter. It's like really dark and dingy, and it just looks like a big pile of mud. So what I'm hoping to do right now is do this one layer right here. Do this one initial layer, and with this layer, we're going to be able to build on top of it later. The idea is that we're going to be able to that we'll be able to paint over this with a better version of what we've got here. As we start to build out these more colorful areas, because the paint underneath is still wet. So your back, just figured out you broke your ankle. What? You broke your ankle? What's going on? Brian Keith, are you a sibling of many in your family? Is that where your compliment giving skill comes from? I guess siblings don't usually give each other's compliments, do they?
Yes, we do.
They do, really? Oh, okay. Well, at least not the young ones, right? What do you think, Kat?
Children?
Yeah.
No.
But like as adults.
Children torment each other.
Yeah. So it's not like a skill you build as a kid, right? But as adults, right, you learn who matters, your blood relatives. I mean, everybody matters, but you can never escape your blood relatives. There's this theory in Eastern philosophy that, one of the biggest gaps in society is this idea that there are others. So the actual quote, I believe, is like, there is no self and there is no other. And you can interpret that however you like. But I think, that's like, that can also be interpreted as, I guess, in a Western sense, like, treat everyone as if they were your brothers, right? But with less woo-woo, because no self and no other is very like, well, what am I then? What am I? What do you mean there's no self? Like you've already lost the person when you say an idea like there is no self and there is no other. But where I think that is translated into Western philosophy, and we're getting somewhat philosophical here, is this idea that, how do you treat others, how you would like to treat, how you would like to be treated, aka, I think a better version of that I learned from Tony Robbins is treat people as they would like to be treated. So, if you're a dominatrix and, you have a client that wants to be treated like they're being dominated by a dominatrix, you should do that, right? But, if someone, you wouldn't treat that person like that if they didn't want to be treated like that, right? So, as a joke there, if you don't know what a dominatrix is, please do not ask your parents, or ask your parents, whatever, but just don't tell them that a YouTuber told you what it was. But this is a live stream for adults. I set this purposely as not for people under the age of 18. So just want to throw that out there. A little disclaimer. But, back to that idea, treat people as they would like to be treated. You think restaurant work taught the best of you. That's awesome, man. Or restaurant work taught you most of what you know. Yeah, I mean, people pleasing is definitely ingrained in us, right? Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with people pleasing. It's only an issue when it becomes an issue. But before I get into that, I find myself constantly getting distracted whenever I read people's comments. But back to this idea of this, how Western philosophy has adopted this Eastern philosophy of there's no self and there's no other.
Hi.
I think it really is like this idea of, treat others as you would like to be treated, or treat others as they would want to be treated.
Fuzzy face. Hello.
And
Fuzzy babies.
and to add to that, how do you treat someone? I guess the Eastern philosophy of there's no self and there's no other is much like deeper than like, how do you act with someone who's not either another person or yourself? We're just all just one, I guess.
Hi.
But I guess you just treat them as if they're not yourself, as if you're not a self and they're not another. They are, and so are you, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to talk Eastern philosophy while I'm doing like a technical activity, which I think when you talk about it, you kind of gotta focus. But Diamond Sutra, that's where I'm taking some ideas from. So if you are curious about this concept
Hi.
of no self and no other, I think the Diamond Sutra is a good starting place. It is an Eastern philosophy. So may not be agreeable to all tastes, all flavors and ideologies if you already have an ideology. But it is interesting, I feel like all philosophies and ways of living have their roots in something, some way of like tying to another culture or another philosophy. They all have their own ways of saying somewhat the same things, is what I'm trying to say. But for now, let's keep painting in this yellow. I honestly don't know if this is even how this will turn out. So how I usually like to paint and draw is have I usually like sketch out the final idea, but this one is more of me like pushing paint around and trying to find like the most unusual, weird shapes for these two figures. And some of that is just resulting in really like a wet paint surface, which wouldn't be bad. But if with the look I'm going for is to be like a nice like flat color, then you got to know when to use certain processes. But I'm just gonna keep messing with it because sometimes I learn from these moments of experimentation where I know that the result that I'm trying to go for isn't exactly what I'm getting, isn't exactly specific. But we'll see how we get there. And I just wanted to paint. I just had to paint. And if that means that I'm not getting exactly what I need, I got this time that I have right now to paint before I go to work later, and it's just great. So let's go like this, bring in these colors. Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy. All right, let's go like this. I think when I do finally tighten this up, I'm gonna let it dry for like a day or two. Like, what are these bizarre figures here? Still very wet. Now let's clean off this brush. So one thing about oil painting though is if, you know, what's great about oil painting is if you paint on a wet paint surface, you get these like really vibrant mixes of color and, you know, really vibrant mixes of color. But you can also, you know, you can't really paint an entire idea and like move stuff around without messing up areas of paint. So you just have to be cognizant of that. If you're, you know, if you like the idea of painting in one sitting and you need like nice tight edges, clean surfaces, things like that, then you would want to go with like probably acrylic, unless you don't mind waiting to let your paints dry. But if you like to paint you know, if you could paint more colorfully, expressively, this, I wouldn't call this an expressive painting as much as it is like an expressive idea, a creative take on a done idea. But you know, with oil paints, you definitely have to be aware that every color, every area of wet paint is going to affect every other area of wet paint. And that should be very obvious right from the get-go. So here we go. We're gonna go. This woman a great. Get this figure a great head of hair here. I don't even know what this figure is. It's a bizarre creature. Now, as the artist of this piece, I'm thinking to myself, you know, anytime I like listen to an art curator talk about another artist and their painting style, and you know, people say, "Oh, Vincent van Gogh was such a sensitive painter. He painted every single one of his figures with beauty and a delicate hand, and you know, he treated every figure with such great admiration and respect." And I think of like those types of curations of artists, and then I think of artists like Francis Bacon, who I'm actually modeling some of this style after, and I think to myself, this is not really that respectful of our figures. So what would, you know, what does my message have to be for this, other than, hey, I'm just trying to like, you know, play with this other style? And I do have an answer for that. I do have an answer that I came up with. A little story of ideation here is, you know, I think part of this is just capturing this the primalness, the primality. Alexa, what is the definition of primal?
Primal is an adjective that describes something as being original, first, or primeval. It is used to describe the essence of something, which is why it is sometimes associated with the word primal scream.
Oh, so when I think primal, I think of like this like energy, just like a beastly energy, you know, just like our primal nature, our like most instinctual, animalistic, violent nature. And so there's these two figures here that are just like absolutely primal in nature. They don't want to be there. At least one of them didn't want to be there. At least one of these figures didn't want to be there. And they're just there for the entertainment of all these people in the background, who I might get rid of. These people on a platter. These ladies on a platter just doing something.
Spin it around. Oh, spinning.
Pookie, hey, Pookie, you know what you're doing. Pookie, don't make me give you a hug.
Yes, we're spinning.
So the way I keep my cats away from my artwork is by, when they get too close, I like to give them big hugs and hold them until they get annoyed. That teaches them.
Look,
That'll
litter on
teach
the
'em.
floor.
Huh?
So much kitty litter on the floor. Walking with mats, and of course someone coming.
Let's find some good places to place some black. I'll lay down some of the areas. I think eventually I'm gonna do this as a paint over again. It's gonna be even more painted over. And how do I want to merge these two? You know, I'm gonna keep them separated but merged at the same time. I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna do that. Let's see. We're gonna go separate right here. And let's go. Just playing with your headphones instead of something else.
Here.
Let's bring some of the black into these figures. We're gonna go lay black down. And let's go. Let's clean this up. Clean off this brush that we have black on. Let's find some clean reds.
Play with that again?
Huh?
Kitty.
What'd you do with that toy? Did she get bored of it?
Wherever they left it. I didn't do it.
No, nothing. Where they? Pookie, what'd you do with your favorite toy, huh? She killed it and left it. Ah, there we go.
Dying.
She killed it and she didn't like it anymore.
Yep.
Dying.
Good old cat and mouse. No longer moves. Now, instead of using this brush, I'm gonna try a different brush here. Gonna go with a brush that I can like dab. Try to find a brush that will allow me to like dab the surface. Which means it has to be a bit of a flat brush. Let's see. I don't want it to be too good. This might be a good brush. A little brush right here. We're gonna dab the paint. And here we go. This might be, I don't want to overdo that too much. What do you mean? You want to overdo it? I'm going to overdo it. I can't actually clean this brush though because it's so stiff. This brush is, I have to retire this brush. This is a level 3 round brush, but here's the problem. Is this is an acrylic brush. So if you use an acrylic, you have to know your tools. I don't know why I bought this brush, an acrylic brush. I think when I was first buying supplies, you know, you kind of just like pick whatever brush you feel like you need. Even though, and like if you get the wrong brush, like at the store, just sometimes you just don't know. You just like, you know, you're looking at brushes, you see it in the oil paint section, and you don't realize it's an acrylic brush. And, you know, two very different substances, right? Acrylic is a plastic, and oil paint is oil. It is an oil with pigment, metals, whatever is necessary to achieve the substance. And that's what it is. So I'm gonna go, let's go paint around here. We're gonna go,
You know what I just realized?
What'd you realize?
I'm sending pictures to the people for today. You wear the same shirts over and over.
What do you mean?
Well, because they wanted pictures like you wearing different clothes, different vacations and stuff. And every picture I have, at all different times, you're wearing the same shirts.
The same exact shirt in every single picture.
Yes, pretty much. That turquoise one and a gray one.
The gray one
Yeah.
that you got me?
I didn't get you one. I got you one that says Boston on it. Is Boston on it? It's a plain gray one and a plain turquoise one. It's okay. It's just, you're going to say, why is he wearing the same shirt in all the photos? It's like, that's the only shirt he owns.
Yes, this is an old clean sock. It's only dirty from the paint, but this is a clean sock that we're using. And let's give it some more of this white here. I'm gonna go why use a brush when you have so many tools? You don't need brushes. You don't need brushes, you just need a paintbrush. I mean, just the sock. Sock painting. Finger painting is overrated. People should do sock paintings. this area feels dry around the foot here. So let's go on a nice little gesture on the foot. Let's do this with socks too. Let's do a sock. Let's do a sock. Yeah, get that frustration out.
Deleted a photo.
Get that frustration out, baby. Maybe get some yellows into here too. Just little hints of yellow in certain areas. Let's go like yellow into here, like into this little round area here. Now let's see what we can do about see how we can tighten this up. We will eventually, you know, make it work. Put a thick dab of like white in here. Another thick dab of white right around the front over here.
One more. I don't have as many of you as I do with myself.
They're not just looking for selfies, right? There could be any photo.
Right, but I don't have photos on my phone that someone else took.
All right.
Way back in time.
Are you sure I just only have photos of like one outfit? Cause like, no way.
Yes, I'm going through like all the way back to like June. A lot of us together, but they don't want them together. Ugh. We're still wearing the same shirt.
This feels like one of those paintings where I just gotta like let it sit and linger. Let it linger.
more photo. There's one more photo. Damn it. Come on.
Let's go ahead and get this weird blob guy.
Wearing the same gray shirt.
I mean, I could send them like. Do you want me to just email you a bunch of photos I have of myself?
No, I just need one more.
Oh, okay.
Just get one more. Dropbox is loaded. Hi. Hey, I'm okay. How are you?
You sound better.
Tell Bonnie I said
Yeah,
hi.
I feel better. I feel good.
That's great.
Yeah. My back is better. My depression is better.
That's amazing.
Yes. I feel good.
Emmett says hi.
Emmett says hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt.
Hey.
We're doing a job today. It's a photo shoot. It's a photo shoot for, it's probably AI or something. Things. So they're together, they're paying each of us. Yeah.
You're doing everything now.
No, at 2 o'clock.
Yo. Hey, well, how am I doing? I'm doing good. How are you, Azariah?
So, yeah.
I am doing this painting of
Yeah, I was a
of
little disappointed.
beastly
on
nature
the
of
memorial service.
of the end scene from Requiem for a Dream.
I'm glad you're taking care of that.
Oh, me too. Oh, yeah.
And here we go. Let's get some.
Wish I could get her in sooner, but
Let's get
I can't get into
some
May.
red, white into here.
I know, you're supposed to fill it fast. I thought they asked you if it was earlier.
You're amazing. Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. What's the thought of the day for you? What's the positive, inspirational thought of the day from Azariah? What is Azariah's epiphany? Azariah's daily epiphanies. There's a good idea. Azariah's daily epiphanies. Azariah's epiphanies. Might be a better word there. Gotta play around with that. Limit yourself from my accomplishments. Okay. What does that mean? I guess maybe you already talked about it on your live stream. I wasn't able to catch it. Limit yourself from your accomplishments. Further, when you challenge yourself to get out of the comfort zone and find the best in you. Okay, that's cool. I like that. That's a good one. It's a great one. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Pookie, you know you can't. You know I don't like it when you come here. This is the only time I don't like you around my stuff. Yes. All right. Good girl. Go somewhere else. That's right. Here we go. All right, this painting, I feel like I just need to let it dry. But let me see what I can do with the outside. Since this is a green, so you would use like an orange and a tan, a pink and some greens, pure orange. Let me see what I can do about going with like a pure orange around the outside. Got this green right now. Clean this brush off. Not going to be using it again for a while. If this is like a brown red, I think all I really need to do is find like a nice chunk of yellow. This paint's still pretty wet. So if I just start to spread this color, we'll get some we'll get more of a vibe of what we're going for is the goal. Alexa, what is the meaning of beasts of no man?
Beasts of no man is a term that refers to animals, both wild and domesticated, which are distinct from humans and other forms of life such as birds or fish. It is commonly used in the Old Testament to denote these creatures.
Well, let's see, I got her in July 2014. She's 6 months.
Still layer over layer, after layer, and eventually we'll come with something. But again, I think so. Part of me knows I have to like just let this dry, but then I'm like, oh, I don't want to let it dry. I don't want to wait a few days. I want it now. I want to paint it now. I have the idea now. Or maybe I should just start another one on a dry canvas that I have and let this one just sit and simmer. You're digging the colors. Thank you. I go further when you challenge yourself. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we're experimenting here. This paint would go so much better if I just let it dry for a bit. And honestly, I don't know if it has the same effect with this this muddy color. I'm not quite sure if it has the same effect of what I'm trying to go for. Therefore, I feel like I can't just leave it. I can't just finish it. I actually have to wait for it to dry, or else the effect will not be the same. It won't be just right. But at least right now, what I can do is to lay this foundational color here. And when the time comes, when the time is right, and the moment is right to strike, we will do it. We will strike by adding new paint onto the surface. Let me see how we can actually tighten this area up. Let's get that sock again. I really liked this effect that the sock was having. So I was painting with a sock painting, not sock puppeting. And you can really get some interesting textures onto the surface here that are really unique. That you can't really get with some other methods. And how many paintings have I done in my life so far? I don't know, maybe like 200? 1 or 200? 150? Let's just say like 150. But you know, so many of them are counted as like studies and not like true paintings. Out of the 150 paintings that I've probably done, you know, I would say like 90 of them, more than 2/3 of my paintings are like studies, you know? As opposed to like fully fleshed out works and ideas. And out of those, you know, I've only sold a handful. I still have a majority of my paintings. And, you know, here's the funny thing is I took a break from selling prints. I lost a lot of motivation at one point because I realized I was using the wrong tools. And I was going to have to like re-upload all of my artwork all over again to a new platform. And that really demotivated me for a while. Not from painting, but from the process of like, you know, growing the business side of the work. But finally, you know, I feel like I've got a new motivation again to finally start uploading prints again, to get back into the groove of doing that. So, you know, hopefully that will, well, not hopefully, not hope. I expect it to get me some more sales again. So anyway, let's see. Let's start dabbing away at some of this. Let's see what happens if we just. Just knowing that when it starts to dry again, I will be able to like just. It looks really weird and splotchy now, but I think after it dries and I take the time to like really shape out everything, I'm gonna be able to do stuff. Maybe even right now. Here, let's just try it out. Too much experimentation. What I should experiment with is what I can do if I give it time to simmer. But you know what? Maybe I should let my painting reflect my impatience. If I allow my paintings to reflect my impatience, you know, doesn't it give me a sense of it? Doesn't it give it more of a sense of you know, the artist? Let's see here. I'm gonna blend this section together, like mold this section into. I'm gonna mold this section there. That didn't work out. Need some thicker paint. I think we're going to call this painting Beasts of No Man. Beasts. Alexa, what is the definition of Beasts of No Man?
Beasts of no man is an expression that implies something or someone is worthless or of no value to anyone, human or animal. It is used to describe something that is useless or ineffective. Alexa
off. Nope, that doesn't really... I would think that Beasts of No Man is more like... You know, that's why it's important to like look up the things that, like some of the expressions that you might say. I was thinking that Beasts of No Man to me sounds like the idea that like beasts, but they belong to nobody. But at the same time, you know, in this scene, they've been turned into entertainment. So on the first look, people are going to go, oh, what? He's taken two prostitutes that are on a table doing a double dildo. Excuse my language, people. And they're like, he's saying they're beasts of no man. They're worthless. That wasn't what I wanted to say. So again, this is from the movie Requiem for a Dream. So again, a very adult movie, or a very, very controversial movie. And we are taking the idea of the very last scene of the film, or one of the very last scenes of the film, and we're adapting it. And I wanted to turn them into these really wild, bizarre characters, mainly to capture this idea of like what these implied yuppies, these people, turn them into. It's just like this form of entertainment. It's like very primal, unusual form of entertainment. It's not that unusual. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty common amongst certain circles. Beast of No Man. It's kind of ugly too. How do we make this look nice? Let's grab our blues. Let's grab our blue and try to add some shapes and just see how we can add shapes to this. I think I already tried that, but
Hey there. Hi. Hi there. Hello there. Hungry? Scout. Looking at pictures of you when you were much smaller.
yes, so cute.
Yeah, she's so little. You and your sister could sit in this together, and there was so much room. Yes, so much room.
Let's add like a nice area, some areas of pure color. And we're gonna go
Water?
let's go like this.
Like it full to the top.
So here's my struggle. Is like I made them look so deformed. And I'm just thinking like, what will people say? What will people think? Why did he deform these figures so much? And there's like a way to like deform things and ideas in a way that's like still kind of like really interesting. But these just look like deformed and weird. I'm just wondering if there's a possibility or how I can possibly make these look like interesting.
Glasses. Find my glasses.
Where'd you last see them?
Well, I thought I was wearing them when I sat on the couch, but that's not where they are. So then I went to the bedroom where I went next, and that's not where they are.
What about outside where you went?
Yes. That was a good idea.
Maybe we can add some black.
Oh, they're in my pocket. Jeez.
Where can I add black?
Give me the look. Where are they? Okay. 11 already? Hello.
Mizu, what's up, dude? Here we go. How am I feeling about this? Feeling. I still need lots of work. Mizu, what do you think, man? Now's a good time to share some critique with from someone who would have an unusual eye. What is your what kind of critiques you got? Anything? So what I was looking to do here is a bit of Francis Bacon style. But I just keep working and working it. And I think that's probably my biggest thing. If I was just critique myself, I'd be like, dude, just stop because, you know, this is not a single session fix. This painting would not be a single session fix, even if I could fix it. And it's unusual. Yeah. Trying to make it aesthetically pleasing. You know, how do you make it an aesthetically pleasing image? All right, well, I guess that's all I need. That's all the critique I need. All the crit I need. That's it. That was the answer. I am making this my own. That's the only thing that matters. All right. Let's see. I do want to paint a head here. Oh yeah, here's what I want to do. Here's something I can do that can help us expand here. With this. I'm gonna make her devouring his head. Eventually, not right now. I don't think it works right now. What else do I have for this? No, this is pretty much it. I think the biggest thing for me now is I need to decide whether I'm gonna. Well, I know I have to, no matter what. If I really want to try to get this to look, a certain way, I have to take the time and just let it dry, and then paint over it again after it's dried. That's what I really need to do. But I'm hoping that, someone could say something. I'm looking for someone to just say something and be like, no, dude, this is it, man. You got it. This is it. This is the answer. This is your masterpiece. I'm a little kidding there. But I know, isn't it interesting how your mind sometimes knows, your mind often knows what you need to do. And I know that I need to, stop this painting and paint something else. So I'm wondering, maybe that's what I should just do. So what else do I have for this? Yeah, so basically I feel like these shapes I'm going to keep, these figures, but I just have to tighten them up and then tighten up these figures in the background. That's where I'm thinking with this. One sec, I got to type something up. All right, hold on one second. right back. I got something to think on.
I don't know what notebook you had.
Yeah, what was it?
It was this cap to the headphones. So it's like rubber cap.
Yeah. Ugh. All right, wonderful viewers who stopped in. I'm actually gonna have to take a break right now. I gotta take care of a couple things that have come up today. So I'll do a little 12 stream. But you know what? This is for the best because this means that I have to stop this painting, which is great. Because that means that I get to let it dry, which is exactly what I've been waiting for, is a reason to let this painting dry. Otherwise, I would just go and go and go and never stop painting. That's not true. That's not true at all, because although painting isn't like, that physically strenuous, there's definitely a level of creative fatigue that can happen if you paint for like extended periods of time. And there's a lot of stuff I gotta take care of. So close up my paint supplies. Take a break on here. Oh, close it up, close it up. But hey, everybody, I don't know how many people are here, but if you're watching, let's just go raid in Omizu's live stream. Go raid his live stream when he's on. I don't know if he's streaming right now, he's probably not, but go raid his live stream for some exciting art work. And with that, take care, everybody. Have a good night.